ask many of the questions. If you have a question, you can ask it too, but I start, right? And I don't have to raise my, well, I sometimes raise my hand, but I'll chime in every now and then, but for the most part, I'm going to call on that first person who's going to make a comment, and then when you have something to say back to that person, you put your hand up and that person calls on you. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're done speaking, you call on someone. And the only tips I want to give you is when you're making a point, try to make it only one point. Don't say, well, I think this, and then also about this other thing, I think this, and then about this other thing, I think that, because then the person who speaks after you is not going to know what to respond to. So try to keep it to a single point, and raise your hand when you disagree with the person, okay? And it's obvious to me, I don't need to remind you guys to be respectful because you obviously love each other so much, you're going to be nice to each other when you disagree. So, first question, is he strong? Raise your hand if you have an answer. And I am going to make you tell me why. So I heard a yes.
Yes.
So you guys bear with me, I'm going to coach you a little bit. You're going to answer, you're going to say why, and you're not going to look at me, you're going to look at everybody else. And everybody else is going to look at you. It feels weird in the beginning, you will love it once it gets going, okay? So you say yes. Tell them why.
Well, he's physically strong. I don't know about 19.
Say it a little bit louder. He's physically strong.
Yeah, that's all. He's physically strong.
So you want to tell her why she's wrong? Raise your hand. By the way, did I mention that your teacher is actually keeping points for who talks today? And it's going to count towards your grade? There we go. Okay. So you get to call on someone.
So she's right, he is physically strong, but emotionally he's really not strong because he's like, as you see here, he's like ripping the director because he's so obsessed with his like workouts and stuff that he can't even sleep at night because he just can't stop thinking about it. And he's like ripping the directory and like ripping a deck of cards and stuff. So yeah. Katya?
I agree with her, but I also think he believes that by having big muscles and being strong physically, he's just covering up underlying issues. Maybe he has like other weaknesses that he doesn't want to show.
Someone who disagrees? Well, how do you know he doesn't just want to work out? He's nervous. He's going on a talk show. You know, when you work out, your muscles get really big, and he's just nervous. He wants to work out.
Because the last sentence, the end paragraph of the story, it really just says that his hands tremble, but not because of like having to work out, but there's something he can't handle with working out.
Where do you see that exactly? Could you read the quote?
For now, he is simply a man whose hands tremble, not from my weight, but from all that he cannot handle. He cannot clean and jerk.
Okay, so what can't he clean and jerk, you guys? What do you think? What do you think she means here?
His emotions.
Why do you say that, or where do you get that?
Because it's saying how, like, it's not because of what he's lifting, it's something that's inside of him that's bothering him.
Okay, anybody want to take a guess at what that is based on what you see in this story, and you can pick someone.
Maybe he just wants to be like recognized, because like he's gonna be like a whole bunch of people are gonna be watching him, and maybe it just makes him feel good to like know that he's like the strongest man or something like that.
Disagree? Do you think that's why he's doing all this lifting? To prove something? Mm-hmm. And I hear you saying you think that he's covering up for some emotional... This woman, how does she feel about him? His wife.
She doesn't like it because like she said she said just one rep because like she knows that he just wants it because he wants to like get bigger. Let's get muscle.
So she doesn't like this whole business? Okay, you get to call on someone.
Liz.
I think she's scared.
What makes you say that?
Well, I mean, I was scared. Like, okay, fine, lift me, I guess.
Well, I think that she's like supporting him in a way because she could have said no, try to go to sleep, but instead she said okay, just one set. Maybe she doesn't like it, but like she's supporting him at the same time.
Okay, you think she's supportive. Someone want to respond to that? I want to go back to scared. Where in the text does anybody find any evidence that this woman is scared? Raise your hand if you can tell me exactly where. Yes.
Well, I'm not sure, but it says right here, I say okay because even his nose looks wild. I don't know what that means, but probably has something to do with it.
What do you think? Okay, picture a wild nose. Okay. Yes.
I think it means like he's getting mad, like he's tensed up, he has to release energy.
Right, right. Interesting. What? Okay, call on someone.
Katya?
I think they're right because maybe she's scared that if she says no, he'll take it out, his energy or his rage in another way.
Okay. Okay. Response to that? Do you feel like he might take out his energy in a like a physical, painful, I'm going to beat you up way? Why or why not?
I don't think he'll like hurt her, but like maybe he might go out and do something like that will affect him, and like just bring on more pain, and then he'll just get worse.
Interesting. And you said she was being a supportive wife, so it could be that too, right? He looks wild, but she's more worried about his state, his emotional state, than she is about him saying, if you don't let me lift you up, I'm going to give you a black eye, right? So which is it? I'm going to ask you. Which of you think she's afraid of him because he could hurt her versus she's being supportive because he's got some emotional issues? I'm not being very clear. Who thinks that she's afraid of him? Raise your hand. Okay, and who thinks that she isn't? And who is so tired you can't lift your hand to raise it for either one? Okay, you guys, I'm hearing, I'm wondering, we're talking about strong men, why there are so few men in this room who are participating in this conversation. We need to see more of you. We need to hear more from you. So, what kind of a man is this? A good man? A bad man? Is this a good man? Raise your hand. Who says no? Yes.
No, because he's all he thinks about is like working out. He even grabs his kids in the van and just drags them around. So he's like just supportive on his like muscles and stuff.
Yeah. So really selfish? Who disagrees? Who think, okay, so you call on someone, please.
I don't know.
I think I disagree because at least it's not like violent. Like he doesn't take his anger on fighting other people. He just like exercises to take his anger away.
Call on someone.
Allie?
Well, I agree with Aurora because maybe he thinks that spending quality time with his kids is doing that. I don't know.